Hello, let me show you what is Engipedia Layers Manager Revit add-in and how it works. In Revit you have different types of layered structures such as walls, floors, roofs, ceilings, building pads and structural foundations. Currently there is no way to read or display information about layers and their thicknesses in schedules or tags. Engipedia Layers Manager add-in does a few things. It adds several shared parameters to all layered categories types in which information about the type will be written. It analyzes the structure of each layered type and gives information about its status. For example, if a material is missing, it will be shown in red. If a layer is checked as structural material, it will be displayed in blue bold. If a layer is inside of a core, it will be displayed with underline. After you click the Fill Parameters and Close button, add-in will write the information about the type into type parameters. Now, if we check any layered instance in the model, for example this wall here, we can see that all information about its layers are inside these EN parameters. Now, let's create a tag to read this information. We will create a new family and choose multi-category tag. Then, we will locate share parameters file that is used by this plugin. Its location is displayed here. If you are using Revit 2016 and newer, you will choose another shared parameters file without this suffix here. Okay, let's add a label and choose, for example, layers and widths. We will align this on the left and top, and we can add one more label here showing, for example, type mark. Okay, that's it. Now we will lock this 3D view and choose annotate multi-category and read the information about the types. Now we can create a table or schedule containing all of our types. For this we will use a new material takeoff, since we are using system families and system families will not appear in multi-category schedule. We will use multi-category material takeoff. We will add something more appropriate here. Layered structures, okay, and then we will add a few columns. Category, type, EN layers, EN widths, and we need to add at least one of those material parameters, which we can hide later. Okay, we will get the table with everything and we will need to filter and sort it out. So first we will filter it by one of EN parameters, which are not nothing. Then we will sort it by category first, then by type, then by layers, and uncheck itemize every instance. Now we can create a new sheet or go to an existing one and add our layered structures table here. And we will get the list of all layered structures with the list of layers inside and their thicknesses. Of course, you can hide this column here, as I said. And if you want to change the units, you will need to run the add-in again, change units to something else, for example to millimeters, and choose to display 0 if there is one. The next thing I'm going to show you is this en do not update parameter. What it does is when it's checked on, it will give the information to the add-in to not update this element even if we change its structure. So we can see, for example, we have some thicknesses here. Let's make a drastic change here, for example 150 millimeters, like this. And we will make another change, for example in this roof. And you will see if I run the add-in will update this 40 millimeters here to 50 millimeters, but it will not change this wall here. You see the change. And if we uncheck this parameter, that means add-in will update the element. We can run the add-in again and it will update this element as well. The last thing I'm going to show you is how you can use Engipedia Layers Manager to find out if there are duplicate types in your model. It will only detect duplicate types that are already having an instance in model. It will not work with types without instances. So for example, we have this wall here, and let's make a duplicate of this wall. We will call it a duplicate. It has the same layer structure just as this instance on the right. Those are two duplicates made on purpose. Now if we run Layers Manager, we can see on the right there is something called string for comparison, where we can check which properties of a layered type should be ignored so we can compare it later. Let's just uncheck everything. So we are looking for exact duplicates. What are exact duplicates? Well, those are the types that have everything the same as in some other type. For example, the order of functions, the order of materials, thicknesses, wraps, structural material, checkboxes, and wrapping parameters. Okay, we know that we have two duplicates. I mean one duplicate but two instances, and we will create a schedule where we can find this out. Now let's create a table with which we can see which types are duplicate in our model. We will use material takeoff as before. and create duplicate layer types schedule. Choose some categories. The most important parameter we need to set is this en type string, because it's the one used for comparison, and we will use type, name, and one of the material parameters. Now we need to filter it out and sort. First we will sort by category, then we will sort by en type string and do a blank line after the same one is found, and then by type and uncheck itemize every instance. So in this table we can see that wherever the two rows are one after the other, those are duplicates. Okay, that's it for Engipedia Layers Manager. Don't forget to run it to update the data, and I hope you find it useful.